Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and welcome to my overview for the patch 6.5 preliminary notes. I don't really think there's going to be that much different in the full ones on Monday. I mean, they said they would make some job changes, but like there can't be that substantial in the 0.5 patch. So we're just going to be looking through this and seeing, what's cool, what's not. I already know one or two things, and one of those two things is not very cool. But you'll get to that when we get to it, but it's like 6:30 in the morning, and I think the sooner that I blast through this, the sooner I can enjoy a nice hot cup of coffee. Here, hold on. Hey, future Haps, talking about 30 minutes ago, past Haps. I actually have another Magic Spoon sponsor that I need to do for the month, and it's just been a really busy one, so I'm going to throw that on this video. So I'm going to play the one that played during the Duty Finder disaster, and please watch it because they've been supporting the channel a lot with a lot of sponsored ads. So then the patch notes will be after that. So yeah, cut to past me again. This video is again sponsored by Magic Spoon. Magic Spoon is a cereal that lets me relive my childlike nostalgia, but without the fear at looking at that ingredients list on the side of the box. Not only is it keto-free, gluten-free, grain-free, and has zero sugar, but for me the most important thing is that it has a high amount of protein, 13 or 14 grams per serving. I've been doing a lot of working out, and one of my biggest struggles has been getting enough protein in my diet. So having something like Magic Spoon around the house, pour it in the bowl, or eat it right out of the bag at my desk, whichever way I'm deciding to do it, it's given me exactly what I need at this point in my life. So if you want to try out Magic Spoon and support the channel at the same time, just click the link below to get some Magic Spoon cereal today. You can build your own custom box and use my code Mr. Happy to get $5 off. Choose from any of the flavors I mentioned before or any of the other flavors that they have. I mean, they have the basics like cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, but man, cinnamon roll is another one I don't have in front of me right now. Blueberry muffin. I mean, there's a lot of choices, so pick the ones that sound best to you, but you have my recommendations. And you know what? If you don't like it, no problem. Magic Spoon is backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. If you don't like it, they'll refund you, no questions asked. So you really have nothing to lose. So click the link below or even scan the QR code that's on the screen and use code Mr. Happy for $5 off. Even go to magicspoon.com/Mr. Happy to save $5 on your order today. It's even available in Canada and the UK, so plenty of places you can get your hands on Magic Spoon. Anyway, with that, thank you to Magic Spoon again for sponsoring, and let's get to the video. Still very hot. Still very hot. Okay, yeah, that needs a few. We'll take another sip in the middle of the video. Okay. Anyway, the first little bit's always the same. New main scenario quest. These are all the screenshots from the website. Seeking the Light, name of the MSQ, and then just, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. Character portraits have been implemented. Yeah, they've been doing this gradually through different patches, adding character portraits for battle dialogue during main instance scenario quest battles. People were surprised when I was replaying through my free trial account, and they were seeing some of these character portraits in places they weren't before. So yeah, it's just adding some of that like Endwalker liveliness to all the other expansions as well. Chronicles of a New Era. That's Myths of the Realm. Same screenshots, same starting location that we expected. It's over in Mordona. New side story quests have been added. Wings of Hope. Ooh, oh, the Wings of Hope. This is the mounts for getting all of the extreme trial mounts. So must I like how completing the Abyssal Fracture is one of the requirements, because Links of Abyssal Grief is from Abyssal Fracture. So I guess that's just like future-proofing it for how many years from now when we get it from Moggle tomes or from Google tomes. It's either way, you would have to have it done, I'd have to imagine. So interesting that's a requirement, but all the same. Yeah, that's for it's like the Final Fantasy IV Bahamut holding like a throne with the player on it. It looks cool. I still need Golbez and Zeramis for those mounts, so looking forward to that. Custom deliveries. We know it's Margaret, but this looks to be the start of the quest for Margaret. Is that NPC? Oh, no, wait. It might be no, it's not the Island Sanctuary one. Because I thought maybe it was the Curious Courier. No, that one has to be part of the Margaret one. And then we have new chapters added to New Game Plus, new items from Gemstone Traders, treasure hunt rewards have been updated. They do that every patch as well. New symbols being added to the company crest. They've been doing a lot of that in recent patches. Voyages, new areas, items in the max rank going up by 5. That's been like, I don't even know. That's been every patch for like years now. Every major patch for years now. More furnishings from the furnishing design contest. That I swear, it's crazy to think that the furnishing design contest, I think we basically had a reward come from them almost every patch. And it's like, I barely even remember when they held them. Like, I checked the lodestone and, like, brain just, like, tunes it out because I don't do a whole lot of housing stuff. A lot of really cool stuff. I'm actually a big fan of this thing that's cut off on the right over here. My mouse cursor is hidden. Let me see if I can stop that, so that way when I hover over things, it makes a little bit more sense. But I like it's like a giant circle on the right. I don't know. I don't know what the actual name of that is, of these things right here. There is a name for it, but I've always enjoyed that kind of particular design. Got a little, not even a gazebo, just like a little outing, little outhouse and some grass. There's the Elpis patch, just a small one, the clock. We saw some of this. There's is that a Moogle parfait? There's like a Moogle milkshake on the left. I think it's something like that. It's some sort of Moogle drink. There's that one from the, I wonder if they serve this specifically in the, at Eorzea Cafe. The stairs, so people have to stop building contraptions or using the Heaven on High tower to climb their own house. Other new furnishings that are not part of the design contest. We've got Nafika right there. That's going up in everyone's home. A Reaper banner. We've got a little throne right here. A few other bits as well. Oh yeah, nice little outdoor fountain right here. A few small steps. I like it. New orchestrions, new aquarium fish, new seed for the flower pots, lupin seeds. Lupin! Sorry, I had to do it. Gold saucer, just some new cards. Looks like we're getting cards for the 12. These specifically being bosses from the second raid, it looks like. New NPC opponents have been added for Triple Triad. That's to be expected. Following adjustments and additions have been made to Island Sanctuary. Now we have these felicitous favors. We heard about this. Yeah, you have to do specific handicrafts instead of just doing whatever's on Reddit or Discord on any given patch instead. There are unique rewards. Please note a certain level of progress must be made in enhancing the Island Sanctuary to unlock this feature. They are served on a seasonal basis. Review the requisite handicrafts by either speaking to the Furball or accessing the Islework agenda. You even get bonus for specific ones. And looks like you want to ship all of these per season. Season, for those who need reminding, in case you haven't done Island Sanctuary in a while, a week. Essentially, a week. As you can see from here, the 19th to the 26th being the one they used in this particular example. So yeah, I guess your goal wants to be to ship all of these in the given week if you're trying to go for felicitous favors in particular. And of course, even if you're not, you at least have the bonus ones and stuff that you might want to get if you only have a certain amount of time. I think I remember them mentioning in the live letter that everyone has their own sets of felicitous favors. So it's like per player. So you can't just do what somebody else tells you to do. I don't remember for certain, but I remember people making a big deal about not being able to use Discord or Reddit. And I think that was the reason. So I guess we'll have to wait and see, because hasn't said anything here yet. So I guess I should just keep scrolling. Nikon will display the Islework to indicate whether a requisite handicraft is due in the current season or the next. Handicrafts may be filtered according to the supply and demand menu. Yeah, okay, just adding some stuff to the UI so that's visible. You can even see it here in the actual thing. Like it looks like the little Moogle tome thing whenever that's around. Speak with it after shipping the requisite number of handicrafts to earn the tokens, which then may be exchanged. Okay. Only felicitous tokens earned. Can be retrieved. Yeah. So if you set them out but don't collect them for like 2 weeks, then you just lose them. Maximum rank is going up to 20. New visions, new items from the horrendous hoarder in exchange for the actual cowries that we're used to. New gathering area added into the wild. New gathering points, new gathering materials, new structures. We saw that in the patch notes. I remember that. Landmarks can now be rotated. Interesting. I mean, I think people want to be able to freely place them, but rotated is still something. 90 and 180 degree increments, you know. But it's only specifically landmarks. So I guess it's just because they're in bigger open spaces a lot of the times with the landmarks. New crafting recipes for Sanctuary. New produce can be made. New animals have been added. New materials from forging expeditions, new handicrafts. Workshop agenda can now be copied. Ooh, okay, hold on. Copy this workshop agenda. Okay, I like it. Copied agenda is going to be set by opening the subcommand and selecting apply copied agenda. That's quite handy. New hairstyles. I think we saw this during the live letter as well. At the very least, I seem to recall. Maybe I saw them on the site or something. I could have swore we saw these hairstyles already. And then we have Hrothgar, just getting a couple of options there. Anytime they get anything, it's always a blessing. Same with Vieira, you know, since they're still all playing catch up on all the other stuff. A color of the Endwalker icon has been adjusted in the duty support and trust interfaces, as well as in the sightseeing log. Wondrous Tales. Players will no longer be able to accept a new Wondrous Tales journal until they have accepted rewards from their previously completed one. I didn't know you could do that. I guess the thought is yeah, I could have swore you needed to do that anyway, but I guess I've never really thought of handing one in, then closing the reward selection and asking for a new journal where technically she's queued up to give me rewards. I just never had it happen, so I never thought about it. In the event players have not unlocked certain duties, the available objectives will change. I'm surprised that was an issue up till now. Prizes for the certificates have been adjusted. Oh my goodness, a fox earring and fox necklace. I hope those aren't the only new rewards for Fox Hollows, because those are not going to sell nearly as well as stuff like the Corgi. So I got my 825 leaves saved up, so I'm hoping. Following duties have been added: Lunar Subterrane, Heidelin's Call, Zodiarc's Fall, and Pandemonium and Abasio. So those are just added to Wondrous Tales now. Following additions have been made to Fox Hollow's new... Oh, that's the Lunatender. Okay. Well, we were wondering where that would come from. I even thought briefly maybe it would be a PvP mount. Maybe from, like, only getting wins in the new map or something like that. There you go. Okay, perfect. The available Fox Trials Hollows has been changed to the Singularity Reactor Unreal. Great. So glad for that. New emotes have been added. Oh, don't look so sad. Don't look so sad over there. Then we won't hear about the job adjustments until the full notes on Monday. We have the Lunar Subterrane dungeon that's part of the MSQ. Very important note about Lunar Subterrane. The loot from Lunar Subterrane should be best in slot at the moment for the Omega Protocol. So if you are someone who's planning on tackling that and you want a little bit more of an edge, this should be, I think, what's the item level for that? 635, I think, is the Omega item level. This should be 635 dungeon gear. So for a while, that's going to be the best you could possibly get. So if you haven't finished it yet, or you want to tackle Ultimate, if you want to tackle Top before the end of the expansion, definitely put some time into getting the dungeon gear from the Lunar Subterrane. Abyssal Fracture has been added, then Abyssal Fracture Extreme. The music from the trailer, from the live letter was so good. So good. And that's going to be our last mount, our last extreme trial mount for the expansion as well. Singularity Reactor Unreal. Gonna pretend I don't have to see that. They did add an item level sync. Yeah, so I think somebody tweeted me at this. I was seething about the other thing they said to me in a tweet. I was like, why wouldn't you let me find out about that naturally? Wouldn't the raw reaction have been better? This was the other thing that they said. Yeah, so big complaint about Final Day is that you essentially skip the entire back half. We're so overscaled for it at this point that it gets absolutely obliterated. It's a little anticlimactic for new players, and even as somebody who's done it before, it's hilarious when you're in the final stretch of the sequence and it just gets cut off like 2 or 3 speeches in, sometimes not even. So kind of glad to have this at this point. Drop rate for the Righteous Fire Flute, that would be the Rubicante Flute, has been increased. Now, people have been asking me about Golbez and Zeramis. Golbez's mount and mount drop increase should be in 6.55, which is currently slated for January. And Zeramis's should be in 6.58, which I'm just going to guess, we do not have a date for that, is March or April. So they will be before the expansion ends, though. So if you end up having to go the totem route, you'll just have to wait a few more months to get those done. Fallen Shadow has also been increased, and then weekly rewards for Anabasia. Oh, okay. This is the normal mode restriction. I am of the opinion they should get rid of the Savage mode restriction now as well, but I've been of that opinion for 2 raid tiers, and it's not like that matters. The number of Unsung Blades has been reduced from 7 to 4. Yep, that's all normal, along with the normal mode loot reduction. Thalia has been added. You know, can't wait to do that. That's going to be a fun time. Hopefully it's a little better than Euphrosyne scaling-wise. You know, I'm not super optimistic on that, but I think they maybe, you know, dumbed it down too much with Euphrosyne. Even Aglaya, like, Aglaya, you could just skip the scales, like, in a Duty Finder group sometimes now. It's like, ugh. And then you get a Thalia coin, and don't forget, with 1 Thalia coin, 1 Euphrosyne coin, and 1 Aglaya coin, you can exchange that for a tombstone upgrade material. And so if you've been waiting for more of those, then one Thalia clear a week, as long as you have some coins left over from the other one, should be a-okay. You don't get cracked anther clusters from your Frostine anymore. And then following adjustments have... Oh, yeah, so this is part of the alliance raid changes that they're making. Experience point received for defeating bosses has been increased, but it does not apply to the Crystal Tower raids. So, Chris, they're making the Crystal Tower raids the least effective alliance raid to get. But that's only because the other ones take longer. So they were trying to make it so that the ones that are closer to the most recent expansion are worth the most, because those usually take the longest. Near, in theory, well, I guess technically in theory, Aglaya and Euphrosyne, and that with what I've described would be the highest rewarding. But I'd assume Near would be the highest, because the amount of time they take is the highest as well. Bonus experience received from Duty Roulette Alliance raids has been increased, but not for Crystal Tower. So those are just, they're the same as before, is all it is. It's not like they're worse. Everything else just got better, is basically all that happened. Number and types of Elegant Tombstones have been adjusted. Oh, interesting. Oh, would you look at that? Wow. Void Arc gives causality. Okay, I'm a big fan of this. Gets 60 causality from this. Okay, hold on. Wait a minute, I needed some comedy. Hold on. Oh, 80. Look. Okay. Wait a minute. I'll tell you. Listen, I'll do Orbone for 100. The fact that this is even 100 doesn't make any sense anymore. They nerfed the crap out of Orbone Monastery. Look at this. We got some tomes. I'm all about the causality. You know how many more Manderville weapons I'd have done if we had this at this point, when I was doing it before. I mean, I guess it'll help with the next step. 120 causality for Tower. And then 120, yeah. And then these even got buffed. Even Aglaya and Euphrosyne got buffed up a team. Well, they got buffed up on causality. Weird that they hit Euphrosyne for 5 comedy. I mean, I guess just to level them out so they're both 15, and same with Tower, but all the same. The items required to enhance Elegant Tombstones of Comedy can be purchased from the following vendors. You can spend sacks of nuts, and then, yes, like I said, you can get the coins. So all of these will be Tombstone upgrade mats now as well. And then it just tells you how to upgrade equipment. Following duties have been added to the Raid Finder, Abyssal Fracture, and Singularity Unreal. The duty Voidcast Dias, Golbez, has been removed to the Duty Finder. Echo will now be in, well, I mean in 6.5, will be in Voidcast Dias and Voidcast Dias Extreme. Strength of the Echo and Abysso Savage has been increased. Why? Why? Like, I have nothing against it, but why? It's like it's so far in the past at this point that it's just like, why? Expert has just been changed to be Ether Font and Lunar Subterrane, and Lapis Manalis has been moved down. Average required item level for experts now 620. And then Lapis Manalis being added to the level 90 roulette, and that going up to 590 as the minimum. Abyssal Fracture has been added to the Duty Roulette Trials. Item level restrictions based on class or job level at the time of duty registration will now be applied to Alliance raids. So, this is a long-awaited change. This basically means that if your character is within a certain level range, you will require a minimum item level to queue into the Duty Roulette Alliance. This means you can no longer unequip gear to try and target specific Alliance raids in the Roulette, which has been a long time problem, because even if one person in every 24 people does this, that will still force a Crystal Tower raid. Well, not anymore. So you need item level 70 for 50 to 59. As soon as you hit 60, it goes up to 175. 70 to 79 goes up to 305. 80 to 89, 435. And if you're at level 90, you need at least 565 in order to queue into the Duty Roulette Alliance. So can't go all the way down and force Crystal Tower anymore. And I'm very glad for that. As much as I don't like getting near, although maybe I will now because of the buffs to it. I'd rather get anything but Crystal Tower. I'd rather get Void Arc, and Void Arc's not really that much harder. It's like, if anything, it's almost easier than some of the Crystal Tower raids. It's like easier than World of Darkness, practically. But all the same. Duties listed within Duty Roulette Mentor have been changed as follows. The new duties have been added. Lunar Subterrane, Abyssal Fracture, Thalia. Required average item level for Mentor Roulette has gone up to 625. Abyssal Fracture Extreme is now in Stone Sky C. And then these are some dungeon adjustments. These should be based on These are the remaining Stormblood dungeons that got duty support, so this shouldn't be too surprised. The Drowned City of Scala, certain dungeon mechanics have been adjusted. Kelpie boss battle has been adjusted. Old One boss battle. Yeah, I always go over all of these. I'm sure some of this is just the boss going to the middle of the room. I don't see really, just thinking of these bosses, much reason why they need to be adjusted. So yeah, I think that's just going to be a lot of boss going to the middle of the room for certain attacks is it. Burn, just all the boss battles have been adjusted, and Gimlet Dark is just all the boss battles, and certain NPCs have been adjusted. I wonder if that's because they might be, duty supports for that. Duty support added for those 3 dungeons as well. Following adjustments have been made to the PvP profile. Notification message will now appear upon opening the PvP profile window if there are unclaimed Crystalline Conflict seasonal rewards. I like that. Nice little heads up. PvP help is now accessible from the question mark button in the PvP profile. Cool. Series 5 will begin in 6.5 proper, and this will last all the way to 7.0. If you've ever wanted to be a Dark Souls faceless, heavily armored knight, then here you go. You'll have several months to get that done. And then also, if you need to claim your Series 4 rewards, they can only be claimed until the end of Series 5, so make sure you go grab those as well. Now, this is some quality of life stuff for Crystalline Conflict, which we got to see during the letter from the producer live. Really excited to see some of the quality of life here. Circle will now appear on the field, indicating the point at which the losing team must reach with a tactical crystal in order to take the lead. Yeah, so if you see this, you'll only see this if you're behind, and it's just letting you know how far you need to make it to get ahead. Catch up and get ahead. Then they added a bunch of UI elements to the actual progress gauge. They show which team is winning. It'll now flash on the thing. So you only need to know which team you're on and see which one is flashing to know whether you're winning or losing. You don't even need any of the rest of the information unless you want to know the exact numbers. The font color in which checkpoint clear progress is displayed has been adjusted. Hey, be quiet, Windows. I turned off my Windows alerts, so you wouldn't do that. How dare you ignore the thing that I did? How do my system sounds get turned back on? Windows, I hate you. Anyway, now that they're off again, just making it clear. And then a line indicating the comeback point is here as well. The remaining time that the losing team must be kept out of the tactical rings match will now be displayed. That's going to be so quick. By the time you see this, it's like, well, I'm sorry, this is the overtime match, but like, by the time you even see the I don't know, actually this is the right image. I don't know what I'm talking about. By the time you even see this, it's very scarily like too late because it's not a lot of time. It's like 3 seconds. So this bar fills ultra fast. The losing team fails to enter the ring during this time frame, the match will be conceded to their opponents. But it's just more information. More information never hurts. So you never have to wonder if you're like, oh man, I thought I made it in time. No, you can see it. Settings can now be adjusted to always display the affiliated team's progress on the left side of the progress gauge. Oh, yeah, that helps as well. It like helps you narrow down through all the UI elements exactly what your team's setting is. But at the same time, through the left side of the progress gauge. Okay, yeah, that's fine. All the same, I'm a fan. Settings can now be adjusted to always display the affiliated team's base on the left side of the map. I like that. I actually like that. I want my stuff to be on the left, enemy to be on the right, so I appreciate that. Settings can now be adjusted to display a timer counting down to the end of the match. Dokily dokily. New items have been added. This is the 24-man gear. We got to see some of this before. That we've seen this screenshot on the promotional site. New recipes have been added. We also got to see this during the letter from the producer live. Except that it was on like a Rogadin and one other character. This is new for seeing these races here. Following items can be equipped regardless of gender. All of the Omega stuff. So if you've purchased that, the Omega F and M attire and the earrings and ear cuffs, those can now be worn on anyone at all. So go nuts. Following additions and adjustments have been made to the armoire. Items purchased from the online store can be stored in the armoire. Yep, this has been years and 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 years of requests. I don't have that many items from the online store. I don't really buy anything from it, but I know a lot of you. I know some of you may have an itchy trigger finger when it comes to online store glams. Except maybe the Ice Heart one from what I've read online, because you could get it in game for like 5,000 gil. Anyway, category in which stored items can be found will now show up when storing them. A name search function for stored items has been added, which is actually awesome. That's really good. Stored items can now be glamored from the armoire interface. Okay, yeah, just a lot of quality of life stuff to the armoire. So enjoy, glamours, enjoy. When accessing the glamour dresser, items can now be displayed by category. That's also very good. Certain items can now be sold, desynthesized, submitted for experts. That always happens every patch. There's just like some of the stuff that wasn't in the prior patch gets added. Following changes have been made to the crafting log. Custom delivery recipes will now be unlocked upon completion of the applicable quests rather than at set levels. Good idea. Custom delivery recipe list order has been adjusted. Recipe search feature will now display up to 100 results at a time. It's a lot of results, but all the same, good. Custom delivery section of the crafting log will no longer display if custom deliveries have not been unlocked. Probably for the better. Crafted. Item level 640 equipment can be exchanged for upgraded 650 equipment. No surprises there. Acquiring your upgraded gear. If you've never done that before, that's perfectly fine. Flying text will now be displayed for item and item quantities obtained via materia extraction, ethereal reduction, and desynthesis. That's nice. I really like flying text added for this, especially. So I don't do much in the terms of ethereal reduction, but desynthesis and materia extraction I definitely appreciate, especially materia extraction. Sometimes I got people talking to my chat log and stuff just moves, and it's just annoying. Players can now speak with Margaret to complete custom deliveries. We mentioned that earlier, so nothing new there. You just have to go to Old Charlian and talk to Theopaldin, who I believe was the NPC we saw in the screenshot earlier, in order to unlock that. And then we have new items added to gathering points, new collectible bonus for certain legendaries. A node's location effect will now be displayed when gathering collectibles. Cool. The following adjustments have been made to ethereal reduction. Yeah, this is the same type of item one after the other automatically. So that way you can just, churn through ethereal reductions if you have a bunch of items. Very, very useful. Long overdue as well. New fishing holes, new teeming waters, fish guide. Newly caught fish will now be marked in the fish guide. Yeah, the little green mark right there. They mentioned this in the live letter as well. Very good. You may now access the fish guide directly from the chat log when catching a new species of fish. Also really cool. Desynth got another 10 levels. No surprise. What the heck is... That's gotta be Island Sanctuary. Is that the equivalent of an extreme trial mount if you gathered all of the Mandragora mounts from Island Sanctuary? Because it sure seems like that. And it's pretty cool. And I like it. And it makes me kind of want to go work on all of those. So that's that one gets a thumbs up for me. I like that. New Chocobo barding. The Zeramis barding is wild. The Zeramis barding is certainly a time on Chocobo. That Chocobo is going to be firing lasers out of its face. There is no doubt about that. New minions, definitely Island Sanctuary for that one. New fashion accessories. I see carrots. So, I mean, it's clearly Lopper. There's other fruit on here, too. Oh, it looks like different colored carrots. Yeah, they're just all different colored carrots. I wonder if that's going to have something to do with... because it's Loporits? I mean, I don't think that's going to be the Alliance Tribe quests later. I'm pretty sure that's going to be like Gemstones or Island Sanctuary or Crafted. I mean, just looking where they are right now, I mean, I would assume it's an Island Sanctuary thing, but we'll see. In order to prevent server congestion immediately after the release of 6.5, multiple field instances in Amarang, Raktika, and Rad's at Hand. So, unfortunately, no bonus hunts in Endwalker, but the Shadowbringers ones just got a little bit bigger. So, sorry, hunt managers. If you're going to be doing Shadowbringers trains, your work is a little bit more frustrating. Following additions and adjustments have been made to retainers. New items can now be obtained from quick exploration. Yeah, they do this every time. New retainer exploration ventures. New fish can be obtained. Following actions can no longer be performed while in battle. Funny. So if anyone's wondering why this seems really random, during the launch of Anabasios, one of the mechanics that they did is called Harrowing Hell, and it knocks back at the end, and if you don't have a certain webbing that the party created behind the group, then it just sends you off the edge. However, somebody seemingly discovered that if you are occupied with any of these things while Harrowing Hell's final hit was going off, you would not be launched back for some reason. Now, it seems they haven't figured out why they couldn't get that interaction working, or I guess why. So instead, they've just disabled them. Now, they had already done this. They'd already kind of like unofficially disabled all of these things while in battle, but now they're putting it in the patch notes and letting you know that it's staying that way. So That way nobody tries it again in any other battle in the future instead of just fixing that battle and figuring out how to prevent it every time in the future. So this will just not happen ever again. Following additions and adjustments have been made to achievements. New achievements and titles have been added. I found that minor botany and the I caught that for fishing. Certain duties and trials now count towards other achievements. Yeah, they're just adding, Singularity, Reactor, and Abyssal Fracture into the tank trial one. And then they're also adding in those and the dungeon and the 24-man into the Tank You series. There you go. Following additions and adjustments have been made to shops. Items added to the most recent patch can now be viewed by checking the show only recent. Oh, hey, that's, I like that. I like that a lot. That's a big fan, especially because, Fantastic Fox's Framer Kit. Yeah. So that is useful for a handful of NPCs that get frequently updated throughout the expansion. So glad to have that. Items that can only be obtained after fulfilling certain conditions will now be marked in the shop. Big fan of that as well. I wonder if that means that, so there are some vendors that straight up don't give you options until you've cleared, like, I think the Criterion one might do that. No, maybe it's not the Criterion one. I know that the Heaven on High and Eureka Orthos don't give you the final exchange option, but I don't think that's quite the same. I think that's just, that won't show up until, that shop won't even show up until you meet the right conditions. Okay, yeah, class and job icons. Also, goodness gracious, when I spend 600 leaves, I make like 6 to 8 million gil off Fox Hollows. You telling me that this framework kit's worth 6 to 8 mil? I mean, you're not going to sell it, but I mean, just, whew. Class and job icons will now display in the pull-down menu when searching for items by class or job. Oh, that just looks nice. Okay. If you do not have enough currency to purchase an item, it'll be grayed out. That is long overdue. Confirmation prompt will now display if the gil reward for gear repair or material melding will cause a player to exceed. That affects like 3 people in the whole game, and I know one of them. Buttons have been added in the following menus to switch gear categories. Oh, that's nice just to have the little click left and right in case you don't want to do the drop down. Okay. That's in all these different locations. So, or L being right. But actually, yeah, for controller, it's especially nice in my opinion. Teleport fees for the 13th moon has been adjusted. So if you're there and you're leaving, I'd assume, because you can't teleport there. So I'd assume that they were way too high. I never thought about it because I didn't teleport from their moon, but okay. Teleport destination tabs can be sorted by region or by expansion. Yep, they told us this in the live letter. Following adjustments have been made to display names. They can toggle the display of a job or class icon in public areas and instances separately. I actually really like that. Icons can be set to display on yourself, your party members, or alliance members, or other players separately. Okay, yeah, just more options, always a good thing. Players, you may now disable the edit mode command when using the cross hotbar. Oh, okay, yeah, it's kind of good so you don't accidentally hit edit mode. Maximum number of elements displayed in the HUD layout drop-down menu has been increased from 5 to 10. Okay. Following changes have been made to group pose, new stickers, and new frames. There is a nice example of it with a nice-looking screenshot. And there are some pretty nice-looking options here with the sticker. People are a big fan of the stickers, so I'm not that surprised. People like this. And, more options with group pose, which is their true end game, is always good. Following additions have been made to adventure plates. New accents have been added. Categorized filters for plate elements have been added. Following additions to portraits, new accents and poses. Yeah, they honestly, so my biggest issue with the portraits still is the thing that is the reason why I'm always nice portrait kind of guy, because it just breaks so easily. So there's not really anything here mentioning that, and that's something I really think they need to come up with a solution for, because it is way too annoying. Way too annoying. I just don't want to bother. I just don't want to do it. I'd rather just be nice portrait guy. Duties can be, oh yeah, duty recorder. So good. Now I can tremble. Yeah, it's the line. It's so funny. Anyway, following additions and adjustments have been made to the party finder, gold saucer, and quest battles. Gold saucer has been added. Quest battles have been removed. Interesting. During a state of inactivity lasting 5 seconds or longer, the cursor will now be hidden. Oh, thank goodness. The cursor hiding during those is a very welcome thing. So thank you. This is a big one. It's a big one for me at the very least. Animations of gauges that fill when holding down a button have been adjusted, probably because it wasn't clear enough when they were actually full. New gamepad type has been added. Gamepad type corresponds to the Xbox Series X and S controls. That's not going to be till spring, the Xbox stuff, but they got to get ready for it now. Following text commands, slump. That was the depressed looking emote that we saw earlier. Following options have been added to character configuration, and this is usually just a compilation of stuff that they mentioned before. So yeah, like, you know, the icons and the PvP stuff they mentioned earlier, the edit mode thing. Gamepad types ABXY for Series X and S. Players with only Final Fantasy XIV and Realm Reborn registered to their account will have the registration for Stormblood applied to their account automatically. The registration of Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood will be applied to accounts starting on Tuesday, October 3rd. Please be advised it may take several days for account changes to be reflected visually on the log station. Nice. Yeah, it's because they... You know, if they're going to increase, the free trial, they're, of course, going to increase the actual Realm Reborn registration as well. Following additions and adjustments have been made to the free trial. The level cap has been raised to 70. Players will now have access to the expansion data of Stormblood. And as my Twitter and chat refused to let me find out naturally, because it would have been way funnier to see my reaction if I didn't know ahead of time, ultimate raids are not included in the free trial. So I have to assume this is for one particular reason. Not because obviously they couldn't do it, not because they needed any sort of restriction. They want you to buy the freaking game to do Ultimate. Remember, the free trial. It's not there just so you can play whatever you want. It's there to make you want to buy the game. And if you see Ultimate, if you're like, I'm level 70, what's there to do? You see Ultimate, and you're like, well, I guess I got to buy the game. That's it. They consider Ultimate valuable enough to warrant a purchase. Now, that doesn't make my free trial endeavors worthless, because I still have Eureka. So that's going to be a video all in of itself. Saves me a little bit of time. Probably would have been a little bit more. Actually, nah, you commented. Ooh, it wouldn't have taken me long to get those done on the free trial account anyway, but all the same. In the event the server congestion is preventing travel to a particular world, request to visit that world will now be canceled automatically. Okay. Estimated travel time will now be displayed when traveling between data centers. That's a welcome change. To prioritize homeworld logins, players may now be restricted from logging in with characters visiting other worlds during periods of server congestion. Your logins have been restricted due to server congestion. Return to your home world via the subcommand. Okay. Nice, easy solution. Additions have been made to the auto-translation dictionary, and then there's additions have been made to the autocomplete dictionary, new trophies, new music, sound effects. 14 logo will now display on the title screen for all players with only a Realm Reborn, Heavensward, and Stormblood. Following adjustments have been made to the launcher for Windows and Mac. The old launcher will no longer be available. 6.5, the new launcher will automatically replace the old launcher. The option in the config menu allowing players to switch back to the old launcher has been removed. And then finally, we have one last bit. In preparation for the Cloud Data Center stress test, the Cloud Data Center will be added to the Data Center selection screen. Access will be available only during the testing period. That is a North American cloud server, and they're just testing to see if it's something that's going to work in the future. If it doesn't, it doesn't, but they essentially want us to go break it. So, you know, no Sephiroth, only cloud here. So we've got that, Cloud Data Center. I'll hop over, I guess, at some point and check it out. I don't know. So yeah, that's going to be it for the preliminary patch notes. I didn't expect there to be too many surprises or anything. They were pretty thorough with the letter from the producer live about what I felt like would be the most important details. Obviously, there's a disappointment of no Ultimate on the free trial, which honestly just saves me a bit of time, so I'm not even really that concerned about it. But this is all the stuff we expected. A lot of stuff is in 6.51 and 6.55, so I expected this to be a pretty light set of patch notes. And it really just explains in further detail with screenshots stuff that we mostly knew, because I didn't feel like almost any of this was a surprise, you know, across the entirety of the patch notes. But that is going to be a wrap for this overview on the patch 6.5 patch notes. So if you enjoyed, be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and share. Thanks again to Magic Spoon for sponsoring this video. I put a Magic Spoon ad on the YouTube side of things. Twitch didn't have to see that, but I just owed them one more ad for the month, and I figured I would toss it onto this video. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Anyway, thank you for watching. I will see you all in the next one, and until then, take care.